Hi there, I just want to show you how you can pin or anchor objects in Affinity Publisher. So the main reason for doing so is that you can pin the object to a piece of referencing text so that when you add additional text prior to that point, both the object and the referencing text move together. So this kind of avoids images and picture frames kind of being orphaned and left behind by text as it flows increasingly into the text frame. So let's just take a look at this example here. We have this picture frame, and if I go to the frame text tool and just click in the very start, if I just add a few carriage returns there, you'll see that the image has been left behind and it loses its relevance and connection to the story. So just do an undo a few times. And instead I'll just go back and select the picture frame and I'll choose to float with text. And this is the first pinning option I wanted to tell you about. So I'll click that and you'll see that the picture frame has a kind of like a link there to a pin. And this pin can be positioned, so I can just hold the mouse button down and then move it, say, to just about here, because that's the area of text I want connected to the image there. Now for the most part that's fine for pinning up and anchoring images to text, but you can also use via the View menu a new panel, which is the pinning panel. And in here, as you can see, because we've enabled float with text, you can see that's already enabled there. But this allows you to control the alignment in different ways of the object to different page elements. So for instance, we're aligning in relation to the character, which is actually the pin we're talking about. So the horizontal alignment is currently inside left. For instance, if we can change the offset value, so you can see that moving slightly to the right, and then reduce the offset value and brings it in a little bit. And we can position in relation to other things, such as the first indent of text, the column if you have a multi-column text frame, a particular frame edge, so that would be the frame edge here, the page margin and the page edge as well. So in this instance I'm happy with the pin there, but we can also control the same aspects as up here, but in the sense of the vertical alignment rather than the horizontal alignment. So we've got inside, center, top, bottom and below. And we can position in relation to the current line, the actual frame itself, or the page edge or the margin. Okay, one important option here is keep within bounds, because what you can do is you can move this particular picture frame out of the text frame by default. If I check this, it ensures that the picture is stored within the frame, and I'll just do that down here as well. Can you see that keeps it within the frame there? Okay, I'll just manually position that. Okay, so that's how you can float with text. Now, one final thing I want to show you is that you can unpin this, so we can undo that floating and the pinning. So I'll just do that now. And we'll move on to a different example. Okay, I'll just move this over to one side. So if I want to do something slightly different, that is to include a particular image inline as a character into a portion of text, we can do that using pinning too. So if I now go to get an insertion point just in here, and I go to the File menu and select Place, and I can choose, say, Hearts. Click Open. Now at the moment that text is, that character has come in as floating because it's remembered the default from before. If I change that to inline, you can see that the character is now in line with this heading text. Just click in there, you can see that is that heading 1 text there. So clearly, because it's a character, I can just pop a space in before there, but I can select it, and then from the pinning panel, I can adjust how that particular character scales. So it can scale in relation to the point size of the heading 1, the accent of the characters of heading 1, the capital height, or the X height of the kind of the E and the U and the N there. You can change the base position, and it can be in relation to the baseline or to the descender. Just change that back up to point size because I quite liked it that size. And you can also change the bordering between left and right. Now I added the space in there, but I should be able to just remove that and then change the right spacing to a percentage value.